Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bold and Beautiful Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Brooke's long-term storyline is set in stone, why the new CEO will surely fail. According to teasers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Brooke Logan's ascent to prominence as the company's new CEO is just one of the significant changes that have recently occurred at Forrester Creations. Brooke merely consented to return to her previous role in an attempt to recover authority for the Forresters, but she made a critical error. Naturally, failing to inform Ridge Forrester of the idea beforehand was the error. Ridge might have supported Brooke's major news if she had just described her plan to get Carter Walton to resubmit the proper LLC documentation. Unfortunately, it did not occur, and Ridge and Brooke are currently facing more difficulties. Brooke acknowledged that she doesn't hold Ridge responsible for feeling deceived in the situation, so she's reportedly giving him some leeway after discovering Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Budig, wearing his shirt, at least for the time being. It's obvious that Brooke still hopes to spend the rest of her life with Ridge. We would predict that she will eventually obtain her dream because Ridge and Brooke have always been reunited by B&B. However, it appears that Brooke's forecast in the show from December 24th disqualifies the notion of a speedy remedy. Brooke vowed to make things right as she sobbed about having to spend her vacation without Ridge. Brooke promised that they will be together once more by Christmas of the following year. By next Christmas. If you were thinking that this plot will end soon, that doesn't sound promising. Rather, it appeared that B&B was securing Brooke's long-term plot, one that condemns her to endure hardships without Ridge for a considerable amount of time. Ultimately, Brooke might have just stated that they will reunite and ended the conversation there. It wouldn't make sense for Brooke to make this massive by Christmas next year declaration if the show was going to feature Ridge and Brooke getting back together the next week. That doesn't necessarily imply that Ridge and Brooke won't get back together until the following holiday season. We might as well get used to Brooke spending a lot of time alone without Ridge by her side, though. In the meanwhile, Ridge and Brooke should encounter additional reunion challenges, according to spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful. Stay tuned for any updates on any concerning developments. When Ridge digs in, does Brooke's reveal come too late? Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful reveal that Brooke Logan is aware of her error. Reviving her position as CEO of Forrester Creations, however, isn't it? She ought to have informed Ridge Forrester of the plan before live-streaming her ascension. The audience and Zend Forrester Dominguez were the first to discover that Brooke wishes to take advantage of Carter Walton's offer to help him see the light of day. According to Carter, the Logans have been written off over the years. Brooke disagrees as the head Logan family member in Los Angeles, California. But she is aware that time and skillful persuasion are required to correct what has gone awry due to Carter's legal hold on power. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, I hope Logan isn't in a good situation. Hope Logan enjoys a brief respite, or perhaps a very brief one. However, she thinks that paydirt has been impacted. Brooke disagrees with Hope's ostensibly practical partnership. Although there is chemistry between Noel's character and Carter, it will be intriguing to watch if she continues to be interested in him once Brooke's reversal plot is apparently successful. Hope's interest in Carter is completely transactional in the eyes of Steffy Forrester Finnegan, Jacqueline McInnes Wood. That is up for debate, but Hope's stance once the Forresters regained power is not. Although it is conceivable, Brooke might condition the transfer on Hope's line to stay restored. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Brooke Logan faces two challenges. Taylor Hayes' emotional supremacy has returned. Because Ridge believes Brooke allied with Carter, his new enemy, he let that happen. There are two reasons why Brooke's strategy to persuade Carter to resubmit the legally licensed corporate paperwork could not succeed. Convincing Ridge that she isn't telling him what he wants to hear or lying about her intentions is her first challenge. Furthermore, she cannot be certain that Carter will ever carry out her intentions. All soap opera wagers would be off for Brooke both emotionally and professionally if she were to be fired from the new FC. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Ridge Forrester's head is turning. It's something to love two women. Having two grown families with them, as he has done for years, is another. Ridge's intricate network with Taylor and Brooke is a part of the legendary history of B&B. If the writing staff has been instructed to go in that route, this new interpretation of the classic triangle is novel and provides a wealth of plot room to explore for months into the new year. As long as Ridge is still recovering from his breakup with Brooke and is seriously thinking about establishing a family again with Taylor, his mind will continue to race. A more polite way of saying that Taylor is his second choice is that he views her as a safety net. Will Brooke's bold and the beautiful plan be revealed by Zend? The most recent plotline involving Zend Forrester and Brooke Logan has viewers on the edge of their seats, as the glitzy yet turbulent world of the bold and the beautiful is never lacking in interest. Zend, who is renowned for his artistic ability and quiet strength, is at a crossroads as he struggles with a moral conundrum that may change the dynamics of power within the Forrester family. The matriarch, whose machinations are as well known as her beauty, Brooke Logan, has devised a scheme so bold that its disclosure could destroy friendships and relationships. The question still stands, will Zend reveal Brooke's scheme, and what repercussions will his choice have? In the Forrester universe, Brooke Logan has always been a divisive character. She has a lot of adversaries because of her talent to charm, persuade, and plan, but it has also made her a powerful force. Her strategy this time is around taking back control of Forrester Creations, which could jeopardize Ridge's existing standing and disturb the precarious harmony within the family. Using Zend's plans, Brooke offers him increased visibility and power within the organization in return for his cooperation and silence. She does not, however, rely on Zend's unflinching honesty. Although Zend has always been the epitome of devotion and inventiveness, this circumstance puts him to the test in unexpected ways. He is conflicted between his dedication to the truth and his regard for Brooke as a family elder when he first learns of her schemes. As a designer, Zend has been relatively isolated from Forrester Creations' corporate politics, but Brooke's scheme brings him into the mix. There is an indisputable moral cost to her proposal, which is disguised as a chance for professional growth. As he considers his alternatives, Zend's internal struggle is evident because he is aware that his decision will have significant ramifications. In the meantime, Brooke becomes more assured of her capacity to control the circumstance. She underestimates Zend's ability to resist, believing his ambition will triumph over his morals. Each exchange between Brooke and him is intended to push him closer to acquiescence and is interspersed with subtly applied pressure and concealed threats. But as Zend starts to doubt her intentions and the possible consequences of her scheme, her error in judgment becomes clear. His hesitancy is not ignored, and beneath her polished appearance, Brooke harbors frustration. Zend confides in Paris Buckingham, his girlfriend and someone he has complete faith in, while he struggles with his choice. The matter is further complicated by Paris's point of view. Zend finds resonance in her idealism and unshakable commitment to doing what is right, which strengthens his own moral compass. Paris is aware of the risks and possible retaliation, though, should Zend decide to reveal Brooke. As they discuss the best course of action, their discussions are tense, with each argument highlighting the significance of the choice they must make. Ridge Forrester, Zend's uncle and a key member of the Forrester dynasty, further complicates things. Ridge and Brooke's tense relationship gives the problem an emotional component. Zend is aware that revealing Brooke's scheme would support Ridge and improve his standing inside the organization, but it might also further exacerbate the already irreparable split between Ridge and Brooke. Every choice has an emotional and professional ramification, and the familial dynamics at work are as complex as the couture designs for which Forrester Creations is renowned. When Zend discovers further information about Brooke's scheme, the tension erupts. In addition to undercutting Ridge, her plan also involves excluding Steffi Forrester, a significant figure in the family business. Zend is further demoralized by Brooke's willingness to risk Steffi's job, which exposes the brutality of her approach. For him, the realization marks a sea change, strengthening his determination to take action in spite of the possible consequences. When Zend meets Brooke in a private meeting in a crucial scene, his customary poise gives way to an uncommon outburst of rage and resolve. He questions the morality of her strategy and the extent to which she is prepared to go in order to accomplish her objectives. Ever the cunning manipulator, Brooke tries to sidestep and justify her behavior, but Zend's uncompromising attitude surprises her. Their passionate argument highlights the situation's high stakes through a conflict of goals and ideas. Zend's choice to reveal Brooke's scheme causes a domino effect among the Forresters. Every member of Forrester Creations struggles with the fallout in their own unique way after the reveal. When Ridge is forced to face the depth of Brooke's ambition and how it affects their relationship, his response is a mixture of sadness and vindication. Conversely, Steffi becomes Zen's most important ally, and their relationship is strengthened by her appreciation of his deeds. As is to be expected, Brooke reacts dramatically to the exposure. She tries to portray herself as a victim of Zen's ambition by denying the accusations. With some family members supporting her and others siding with Zen, her deflection only serves to widen the rift. The resulting dispute demonstrates the intricacy of the Forrester dynamics, where ambition and loyalty frequently clash in unexpected ways. Zen gains fresh respect from the family and the business as a result of his actions. His reputation as a man of integrity is cemented by his determination to stand up for what is right, even at considerable personal danger. But the consequences of Brooke's scheme are long-lasting and will require time to cure. With their relationships irrevocably changed by the discoveries, the Forrester family is forced to pick up the pieces. The plot leaves viewers with more questions than answers, in typical Bold and the Beautiful fashion. Will Brooke be able to turn her life around, or will her ambition keep causing her to become estranged from her family? Will Zen be able to handle the new difficulties brought on by his choice, or will the consequences be too great to handle? And what does this portend for Forrester Creations, a business known as much for its internal drama as its innovative designs, going forward? The drama is far from done, that much is clear. This plot line is just one example of how the Bold and the Beautiful feeds on the complex interactions between ambition, loyalty, and treachery. A pivotal milestone for Zen's character and the Forrester family as a whole is his choice to reveal Brooke's scheme. Viewers are left anxiously awaiting the next turn in this constantly changing story as the characters deal with the fallout. Remy's harassing pursuit and Elektra's attempt to flee. The subterranean facility's flickering fluorescent lights created lengthy, ominous shadows on the concrete walls. As she listened for any indication of a chase, Elektra hunched over, her pulse pounding and her breathing shallow. In the brief moments she had between Remy's agonizing mind games, the escape attempt had been carefully planned, at least as carefully as possible. The constant psychological strain and the taunts had worn her down daily, but they had also stoked a fire inside of her that now made her want to risk everything. She made a clumsy weapon out of a broken piece of metal, and her fingers tightened around it. Even though it wasn't much, it gave her a fighting chance. She had studied the layout of the surveillance cameras, but the quiet hum of them rotating overhead made her stomach turn. It was all about timing. Against the chilly floor, Elektra's footfall were soft and quiet as she darted down the hallway. She believed that each step would bring her one step closer to freedom. On the other hand, Remy was not at all unaware of her motions. This was what he had expected. He had actually been anticipating it. From the control room, he watched her progress on the monitors, his lips curling into a predatory smirk. With false appreciation in his voice, he said, "Smart girl. But not clever enough." His thumb moved over a set of buttons, each of which was connected to a meticulously planned trap. Remy enjoyed the game and the excitement of the pursuit. For him, shattering her spirit was more important than merely keeping control. Elektra stopped as she got closer to the first checkpoint. The reinforced steel door in front of her was difficult, especially for someone as resourceful as she was. She did, however, have allies. A tiny gadget, a present from a fellow prisoner who had paid a high price for their disobedience, was concealed in her pocket. The only way she could disable the lock was with the device, a crude EMP. She inhaled deeply before turning it on, momentarily interfering with the facility's systems with the faint hum of the magnetic. With her heart racing with a mixture of fear and triumph, Elektra slipped through the lock as it snapped open. One of the displays went dark for a moment, and Remy's gaze narrowed. He said, "Clever," and leaned forward in his chair. He pressed a button, and the corridor where Elektra now stood was filled with the sound of mechanical buzzing. But the fun's just beginning. A group of drones appeared out of the darkness, their red lights ruthlessly and precisely scanning the scene. As she considered her next course of action, Elektra froze, her mind whirling. She was faster than the drones if she could outmaneuver them. In a rush of adrenaline, Electra ran along the corridor, dodging the drone's tracking lasers by zigzagging. As the machines relentlessly pursued her, the sound of metal crashing against walls and floors reverberated behind her. As she rounded a corner, she noticed a ventilation shaft that was barely big enough to squeeze in. As the drone's lasers cut through the air where she had been moments before, she jumped without thinking and dragged herself into the small area. The metal walls crowded against her on all sides, and the air within the vent was oppressive. Electra ignored the scrapes on her arms and the pain in her muscles, however, and pushed forward. She thought of all the things Remy had said to her in the previous weeks. With a tone that was both amused and menacing, he had declared, "You'll never get out of here. I own you, Electra. Forever." Although those words had troubled her, they now strengthened her resolve. She would disprove him. Remy's tone was mockingly cheerful as his voice crackled over the facility's intercom system. "Electra, are you already running? I expected you to last longer. However, that's all right. I'll track you down. And when I do, we'll have a little chat." His icy, malicious laughter reverberated through the hallways. Electra clenched her jaw, her rage providing the willpower to continue. She came out of the vent into a storage room where shelves stacked with equipment were illuminated by the dim glow of an emergency light. She discovered a tiny bag among the supplies and promptly packed it with anything that might be helpful, including a first aid box, a lantern, and a coil of rope. She was aware that she couldn't stay long because Remy was getting closer every second. Electra had no idea that Remy had used more than drones. Now, a group of his most devoted enforcers was searching the building, armed and prepared to apprehend her. Remy had instructed them to return her alive but damaged. He desired to break her spirit and put an end to her disobedience. He took the hunt personally, and he would do whatever it took to establish his supremacy. Electra kept feeling like she was being watched as she made her way through the maze-like hallways. She became tense at every sound, including the distant clatter of boots and the hum of equipment. Years of survival had sharpened her instincts, warning her that danger was imminent. She gasped for air as she dived into a maintenance tunnel. The stifling atmosphere of the institution threatened to overwhelm her as the walls surrounding her seemed to close in. A shadow suddenly loomed ahead. With his weapon lifted, one of Remy's enforcers appeared. As she readied herself for combat, Electra's hold on her homemade weapon became more firm. With a sneer, the enforcer showed his assurance. He stepped closer and said, "End of the line, sweetheart." However, Electra was quicker. Her motions were quick and accurate as she lunged. Every hit came with a painful thud in this vicious and chaotic battle. Electra had the advantage because of her quickness and drive, even though she was smaller in stature. She grabbed the enforcer's weapon, immobilized him with a final blow, and then ran deeper into the building. Remy's face darkened as he watched the interaction play out on the monitors. "Very impressive," he said in a reluctant tone. He turned on another set of controls, blocking off many exits and rerouting her course toward a dead end. "But you're only making this harder on yourself, Electra." He desired for her to be cornered, her hope dashed. When Electra arrived at the end of a hallway and saw a solid wall obstructing her route, her progress abruptly stopped. She fought the need to panic but forced herself to remain composed. She looked about, looking for any indication of a way out. Then she saw it, a vent grate close to the ceiling. It was her only opportunity, although it was a slim one. Electra made a makeshift grappling hook out of the rope in her backpack and tossed it in the direction of the grate. It caught after a few tries. Her muscles screamed in protest as she climbed swiftly. She heard footsteps approaching as she dragged herself into the vent. Remy's guards were nearby, their words full of eagerness. Electra hurried as fast as she could into the vent, the cramped quarters making every step difficult. She came out into a control room where live feeds from all throughout the complex were shown on the monitors. One of them included Remy, whose arrogant demeanor stood in sharp contrast to the mayhem she had wrought. When Electra noticed a console marked "System Override," her eyes narrowed. This was her opportunity. She started typing with shaking hands, knowing just enough about the facility's systems to cause trouble. All across the institution, doors opened and closed at random, lights flashed, and alarms sounded. She gained valuable time by using the pandemonium as an ally. Again, with a hint of rage, Remy's voice echoed over the intercom. "Electra, do you believe you're smart? All you're doing is postponing the inevitable. You're not going to win." However, Electra only needed to get away, she didn't need to win. The complex was in ruins, and she headed for the surface, the cool night air a sharp contrast to the stifling heat below. She may be free. She heard the distant sound of pursuit as she ran toward the tree line. Electra didn't care that Remy wouldn't let her leave without a fight. She felt a ray of hope for the first time in weeks. She would never again allow Remy or anyone else to take away her freedom. According to spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Remy Price has been revealed as Electra Forrester's stalker. Remy will probably be committed to a mental health institution. Christian stated in a recent interview that he believes Remy is dealing with a lot of intense pain and trauma in addition to some strong emotions. Will Electra have conflicting feelings when Remy receives treatment? Let's discuss what might happen next in this plot while you continue reading. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Will Spencer's romance. According to B&B spoilers, Will Spencer never anticipated meeting Electra when he returned to Los Angeles. Will fell in love with Electra the instant he laid eyes on her. Will had always enjoyed the fact that Electra was different from the other girls. Indeed, there was a very cute episode where Electra admitted to being a nerd in high school, which Will didn't find credible. B&B spoilers, The Secret of Electra Forrester. But Electra sought a new beginning in Los Angeles. There was a photo scandal where Electra was from. One that made her feel so ashamed that she was shunned by her own friends. Given that the pictures weren't even of Electra's actual body, it sounded like a really traumatic experience for her. It's occurring again now. Regretfully, Electra had to discover that the culprit was someone she could trust. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Remy Price's revelation. According to previews for The Bold and the Beautiful, Electra received a key to Remy's apartment from Deacon Sharp. Electra only wanted to wipe her tear-streaked cheeks while maintenance worked on the restaurant's restrooms. Electra discovered that Remy had been stalking her all along when she discovered her pictures scattered across his wall. Remy pursues Electra to a parking garage even though she does manage to get away. Will may be the one to save Electra, it is implied. Will and Remy actually have a heated argument, according to the weekly spoilers. Even though Remy might be taken into custody, I think a mental health facility, not jail, is what lies ahead for him. B&B spoilers, Feelings of Hope. That implies that Remy will be released eventually. Remy may attempt to use Electra as a means of atonement. I keep getting Thope vibes from this plot, for some reason. Remy makes me think of Thomas Forrester's previous fixation on Hope Logan. How Remy is redeemed and what that means for Electra's future would be intriguing to watch.